Hey everybody, in this episode of the Timeless After Show, we're breaking down Season 2, Episode 7, Mrs. Sherlock Holmes. The game is definitely afoot in this episode. We've got one, maybe two betrayals in store for the teams. We've got Rufus learning that even though you think you're invincible, you can still get your butt whipped. And who will stand up for women's rights?
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes.
This is the music.
There you go.
But it's true though.
A little slow.
I like it.
Yes, right. Just easing us in. This episode of the Timeless After Show. You're hearing some of the music from the from Sherlock. Look at that, the Benedict Cumberbatch version. But we're going to be talking about Mrs. Sherlock Holmes right here on Timeless, breaking down every episode of Timeless airing Sunday nights on NBC. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran.
And I'm Alexis Torres. Hey guys.
Hey, Kari Lane here.
And Virginia Reyna-Dunne.
Look at that. And so, folks, as always, you know what you can do? You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and feel free to hop in the chat and share your thoughts about the series in general or this episode in particular. Ooh. And before we go into further detail about the episode, just a quick around the room. What did everybody think?
It was really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I actually was like, whoa.
Yes.
Amazing. I had to actually call my sister and we had to talk about it. I was like, you've watched it, right? Yeah.
Do you do
It was
that for
so
every
good.
episode?
Usually we do talk about it every episode, but this one was like literally as soon as it ended, I was like, oh my God. I have to talk to somebody about this. Like, it was so good.
What was it about this one that made it so I gotta get on the phone quick?
Jessica, like her, that image of her, I was
Yes.
like, oh my God, finally they're doing something good with her. Like, 'cause I was just wondering what she was doing. Like, she can't be there to just break up Lucy and Wyatt.
You don't want to just see her there in the warehouse just with her hair getting blown back?
Right.
She practices that every day. It's pretty great.
I was going to say, you kind of said it, but we are live in the chat. So if you all are joining us live, hello. And if you're watching it later, comment down below your thoughts on the episode. Because, yes, quite a bit happened. Mm-hmm. And finally, quite a few things. And we're all like, this better happen soon. And then we're like, aha.
I'm also just proud of Lucy that she
Yes!
finally said
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I was like,
Yes!
oh,
Thank
so
you, girl.
that's where the anger's been hiding. Okay.
Well, this episode starts off where, what I do like is when Timeless, it seems that most of the time, they will go back and they'll show you a historical event the way that it's supposed to play out. Mm-hmm. And then so you have a better idea about what is being changed and what the ramifications of that are.
I was so confused, actually, because
What were you confused?
I thought it was already starting. Like, I thought someone was going to... Because sometimes...
Wait.
Because sometimes Timeless, we'll see, like... the events playing out, and then one of our team will just jump out of nowhere, and they'll be like, 45 minutes earlier, like after the intro.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but then also they have episodes where they'll actually show you how it was historically done, and then get into the episode.
Yep.
So I was confused towards the end when I realized, oh, we're doing the march, that beginning part again, but now instead of what's her name?
Was it
Alice?
Alice Paul.
Yeah, instead of Alice being the one that's yelling, it's I was about to say Abigail. It's Lucy yelling. So yeah, I was a little thrown back by that because I thought we were I don't know. It was confusing for like a split second. I was like, oh, I'm not paying attention. Okay, rewind.
I think they do that on the episodes where history changes, so that
Yes.
we can see like,
What
okay,
it
that's
was.
different.
Yeah, and it's been a while since most of the time, like I said, we've been seeing one of our team jumping out at the beginning parts, so it threw me for a loop.
What was it? Someone pointed in the chat, and I agree too. It's been a nice episode that really focused on the history.
Yes.
It was a lot about that, and then a little in with our team's drama, and then it woven in too.
Mm-hmm. And I like that we even got to see a little bit more with our B team back at the headquarters, the bunker, whatever.
Yeah.
And getting to see all of them, not like, oh, one's kind of in a room somewhere, one's showering for 5 hours. It's, it's fine.
Wouldn't you like to have a life where you could just shower for 5 hours?
Not if there's no hot water. I'm like, my hair will enjoy that cold water, but my body will not.
That was Flynn. Is there any more hot water?
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right, okay.
Well, he's not taking a cold shower.
Well, he might be actually because he didn't get any.
Right? Someone's like, oh, Lucy slept with them. It's like, no, they said they just talked.
For hours, like high schoolers.
So we do see when they're doing this this march that it is to get the right to vote for women. And they're trying to march up to get Woodrow Wilson's attention before he leaves. Mm-hmm. And I do like that it was just, you can feel like maybe you did the job where you can just get that was it. That's all it took. Like, all right, I've seen you. I understand.
I was having Milady moments. I was like, oh no.
Well, it's a respectful visual gesture because, like, it's loud that you might not hear someone and just a nod's one thing, but that's a polite.
But I liked it. That
But
was
yeah.
like the whole thing that everything balanced on was that Lucy had to make sure
That he tipped
we
the
get-
hat.
That attention.
Yeah.
Yes,
We gotta get
yes.
this.
Tip of the hat.
Yes, no wag of the finger.
Yeah.
Just want a tip of the hat.
Yeah.
But then we jump back into the modern day, and we do find out, as we're talking about, you were bringing up Carrie, that we find out what happened when after Lucy spends the night hanging out with Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Is it did anybody think, since I wasn't here last week, did anybody suspect that maybe just like it was a little rebound, they kind of got freaky, or was anybody like, oh no, they'll just hang out?
Not rebound, but lonely. Like, I wouldn't call that as a rebound. Just like, she's like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do my own thing. And slightly maybe intoxicated leanings because she had the alcohol.
Intoxicated leanings. Oh, I'm going to steal that.
But, you know, and in the end, when she said she talked, I believe that she said that. But, I mean, I believe that she meant that. And though I do like her point later of, like, it doesn't matter if I did anyways. And maybe she really did need it. He's someone she could tell everything to
Because he
that
knows
hasn't
everything.
been there, too.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah.
sure.
Does anybody sympathize with Wyatt, or does he feel like he has no room
Yo,
to
okay.
cast any shade?
You know what? Wyatt, I need you to be a grown ass man right now. I need you to figure out your life. Do you want to be with Lucy, or do you want to have a second chance with your wife, even though right now we're very, very speculating of what your wife is actually up to. So, I don't know, but I need him to make a decision. Because this is too much. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Not this time.
Well, unless he made an agreement with both ladies that we're going to do some sort of
No, that's
polygamy.
fine. If you're all
That's a
about,
whole other thing,
if
too.
they're up for being polyamorous, hey, I'm down for that. That sounds wonderful. I like that kind of series. But because this is TV, I know that's BS. So
Not
I
gonna
need to know.
happen,
Yeah,
yeah.
I need a decision. I'm tired of this crap. You're not a whiny little brat. You're an adult.
I don't know.
being
I feel
whiny.
bad for him. It's an unfortunate situation to
is.
be in because like Lucy is amazing, and I mean they obviously portray her that way. But he's
Yep.
like, oh, that's what I had, and then like my wife and I, we had all this weird history, you know. So like even though he got her back, like maybe he really didn't want her back after he thought about it all. I don't know.
And I agree with that. That I feel like the position that he's in is awful, and I
Yes.
feel like that is something that he needs to work through. But I don't like that he's taking it out on her. Is the thing I don't
Yes.
like. That's
Right.
why I'm like, this is where you need to be an adult and not start throwing your emotions everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you either need to talk to one or the other or both, and just really just think about it.
Yeah.
Instead of jumping down her throat and also Flynn's at the same time. Like
Yeah.
you can't just be picking your battles like that.
Yeah.
So
I like
fair.
how Flynn points out, it's like, she's not your wife. Your wife's
I
down
mean,
the hall.
Yeah,
yeah.
Flynn,
Oh,
yeah.
she's the blonde. She's the blonde down the hall. Did you forget? She's right there.
And finally,
She's alive.
that Lucy, gets to be like, you know what? We need to talk about this. I'm like, someone's a grown up.
Yeah, thank God.
So they do hash it out there after they get back to their
Yes.
mission. And Lucy just lays what's finally been on her chest that we've all been seeing her go through for several episodes. Lays it all on the line. I feel like the only thing that I given what we know about it, we find out that Jessica. We see a picture of her on some blown up Rittenhouse components from the previous
Yeah.
episode as they're digging through the rubble. That we see a picture of Jessica. What that means, there's no context for that photo
That's
yet.
true.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what that means. But I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Wyatt and Jessica together.
No.
So for me to really feel like whenever that moment comes, if she does turn out to be a double agent or what, that has there been enough groundwork laid for the two of them to really make you feel in that moment?
No. We'll be like, yeah, we thought so, because when she came back, we were all really suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And plus, she like jumped right away to help Connor look for pieces or like whatever.
I think she knew.
So she might be that. This is why I really think it, and it's also like everybody doesn't want her to be around. Like we want Lucy and Wyatt to be together. So I feel like she's
There has to be a
she's gonna
reason.
go.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. She's gonna go.
I don't
agree.
know. I think I'm leaning more on the Flynn side.
Really?
A little bit. Only because Wyatt's being a little immature
right,
child
right,
at this
right,
moment
right,
where I'm
right.
like, why? If he like had a more mature approach to it, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, but we
I
wouldn't
would
have
feel bad.
we wouldn't have a show though. if
Yeah.
he was
No, we
mature.
wouldn't.
He's not
We'd-
mature.
Then we don't get the drama. But
Yeah.
like when he was just being so pouty about it and like immature of like pushing the
stand
ladder
that.
back, like Flynn, you're not going. Just was like,
Yeah, that right there, I was like, I literally just felt like I was watching two kids be
Yeah.
like, no, you can't come up the slide, no. Like, it just, I just like, I couldn't do it. I was just
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yes.
wow. Wow.
But it's great because,
Wow.
they always say that girls are the drama, but
No.
I feel like it's always guys.
No,
like,
I
there's
agree
so
with
much
you.
guy drama, and it's the best. Like, I
Yeah.
love watching guy drama because I'm like, oh,
It's hilarious
it's
to
not
me.
just girls.
Yeah. I think it's
Because,
hilarious.
you would think it would be between Lucy and Jessica, but it's not. It's between Wyatt and Flynn.
Yeah. No,
and so
and-
it's perfect.
And we had that episode already of Lucy and Jessica having that
They
moment
did
of being
talk.
immature.
See, they were smart. They talked about it too.
Women, we figure it out.
You guys are great.
Faster.
You're all great.
Not to
That's
beat
why-
up on you.
I love all of you equally. Yes. Now there's also, we still have the journal that Flynn had that he says that Lucy gave to him at some point. The one, and we saw that kind of teased in one of the previously on Timeless aspects, but we've never really learned in what context that Lucy, when and how Lucy gave that to Garcia Flynn originally.
The notebook.
The
Yes.
journal, yeah.
Journal,
The
yes.
journal. So just to see like how much of what is happening is still things that have existed in that journal that Flynn kind of knows about still.
See, that's why I don't know if the journal is ever changing or if it stays the
Yeah, we were
same. Like
wondering
I
that.
have no idea how that works because we know we can see on the internet when things change, but does it work when it comes into writing? I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
do the words, you suddenly see the pages
Is it
change?
like Harry
Yeah,
Potter?
like
Just
Harry
flies
Potter.
off- Yeah, it's like
true.
flies off the page. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, those are things we're going to have to learn about. But you know what, folks? If you want to learn, and especially grow in all areas and aspects of your life, if you do, we've got a podcast just for you. And that is Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition. It drops every Friday on iTunes and is created and hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos. Conversations with Maria Menounos feature celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister you never had. So just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Look at that hot free content that you know and you love. So when you go, just make sure you let her know that it was the ABT TV Timeless team that got you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition. Check it out.
Quick question, ponderings from the chat. How do we feel Rufus would have reacted if he saw Lucy exiting Flynn's room? Miguel says Rufus would be furious. He's the #1 Wyatt shipper.
That's true.
And then Marvin is, I feel Rufus would be upset if he saw her, with her if he was the one to see her exit.
I don't know, but I think he might be upset just because of his personal feelings towards Flynn, but not necessarily about Wyatt because he knows Wyatt's wife is back. So I don't know if he'd be.
That's true.
But they traveled together. Like, it was like the three amigos. Like, when
That's
your
right.
two best friends hook up, you're like, oh, yay, like, we're all a family. So I feel like he probably would be
Yeah.
upset.
Bros before time returned former wives.
I was with you when I say like time return hose or something like that.
I was like, wow.
All right, get it, Frank.
Ooh, dodge that.
No, I thought that was funny.
Now, speaking of Rufus, though, let's talk about Rufus and Jiya. Rufus has a tough time just handling
What?
serious
What?
moments.
Well, no, because I
going
called her for a split second, and
What?
then they made up, which I was okay with. Remember, I was like, "This is where the relationship is gonna hit, like not rock bottom, but it was gonna get
Rufus,
rocky."
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked their fight, actually.
Yeah,
Of
me
them
too.
finally saying it, but he went kind of cold there.
That's what I was
I actually
saying.
started to cry when he did the final yell at her. I'm like, you yelled at her, and that
See,
cut deep.
That was the complete opposite. I was like, aha! I knew it. But also, I'm really glad that it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna fight and it's gonna last for 4 episodes. I'm
No.
really happy about that.
Yeah, that's just
'cause I was
Lethal
like,
Weapon.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I'm not even gonna get into it, but I liked the fact that their relationship is so strong that they're like, I'm sorry. At the very end, like they won't go to sleep mad. They'll go on missions mad, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but go to
They'll
sleep.
talk
That's a
about
whole
it.
different thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I
Yes,
did
yes.
love how Rufus kept being like, I'm not dying today. It's cool. Like, I'm just going to be crazy the
Oh,
whole episode.
That's just stupid.
That was so
That's,
stupid.
they're
Yeah.
doing that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, and you're like, I know my future. I'm not possibly gonna die. And you're like,
No, you
No.
can still get beat up close
And
to death.
Flynn's
Right,
thing
but
too.
not
You could
actual
get
death.
shot in the kneecap.
I was like, you're such an idiot.
Yes.
Yes, so Rufus definitely plays the invincibility card. It's like, well, hey, I'm not by the ocean,
Yep.
not by cowboys. I can do what I want.
So stupid.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about getting killed. And that leads to one moment that's improv by Malcolm Barrett. It was when they were when they get back to the hotel and they're being held up by the policeman. And he says, Flynn, just go Flynn on this guy. There was a little improv moment by Malcolm Barrett. So, yeah.
That was
Get
funny.
it, Malcolm. Baby.
Yeah, look at him go. Yes. But yes, the thing like, hey, I'm not going to die, so let's just get crazy.
There could be a cowboy there too. I
Right?
felt
That's
that
what I
was
was
the
thinking.
stupidest
I was thinking
logic.
that, like maybe he like it could have been like a cowboy dressed up from like a theater or something, like a show.
Yeah.
Like you never know. That's so stupid.
Super quick something, but the reporter that they talked to of like, are you from here? And he's like, I'm from the Post. That's Maxwell Glick, and he's on Twitter, and I follow him, and I'm like, I know him.
Oh.
He has his little thing, and I thought that was adorable.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah,
No, I like that.
I love it when there's
Cameo.
little cameos. Yeah.
I love that.
So they do go back to 1919. Once they find out that the mothership has gone there. So they figure, oh, wait, there's a
Yes.
women's rights movement, so maybe we should go check that out. And once they get to the hotel where Woodrow Wilson is, there's a gunshot. And I just, again, just showing you like the misogyny that's happening there.
Oh,
It's like, just, don't even acknowledge your
What's your
existence.
wife doing?
Yeah.
So, can you get your wife, please? I was like,
Like, get her in check.
I was like,
I
all
was
right.
like, wow.
Okay, all right. I mean, it also doesn't help because of what's happening too. That they're probably
Yeah.
even more upset.
Oh,
that
yeah.
women are like, protesting and
Yes.
stuff. So they're just like,
I think it's just so, like, what I love about the show is how crazy it is to, like, you feel like you're in that moment. And, like,
Yeah.
the whole episode, I was like, God, that was only 100 years ago. That, like,
Yeah.
we had no rights to, like,
At all.
anything. It's crazy.
Even with when they were screaming at the women that were like walking, like, get back in the kitchen,
Yeah.
take care of your children. Why are you out of the house? I was like, oh, I thought a Family Guy. Why are you? Who let you out of the house, Meg? I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But even, and we'll get to it probably closer when we start talking about more about the protest. But that opening scene, I was tearing up because it was
that's
really
emotional,
hard
yeah.
for me to watch these women being beat up.
Oh,
by
yeah.
these cops because they were not letting up, and it was just like, I mean, obviously it's acting, but I was just like.
They did a good job.
Oh, I never wanted to jump over a table so hard until that moment. That was rough for me.
Suffragette was a good movie that covered this time period.
Oh, really?
That one turned out really well. If you guys never saw that.
No, I haven't seen
Is
it.
Hilary Swank?
No, it's I'm blanking on the. Meryl Streep is one of the leaders, but she's not in it as much. It's I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I want to look it up.
Alright.
Yeah.
Someone in the
'Cause
chat, let us know.
Yeah, 'cause
There
I
you go.
don't remember.
I'm like I forget.
Now,
Carrie Mulligan, guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
you.
able-bodied and handsome voice of our man in the booth, Jeff
Yes.
Kerr. Look at that.
Yeah, she's kind of the lead in that.
Oh, sweet.
You
I'm
follow
so
her
excited.
story.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about it, but I haven't actually
was good.
watched it. So I'm
Well,
really
now I
excited.
know what
Emotional.
Alexis's plans are.
No,
Yeah, I've
This evening.
yeah. Yeah,
You
no,
don't
that's
get-
actually yeah.
You'll get that queued up. So as soon as you watch it,
You know what's
there
funny?
you
He
go.
probably is watching. He's like, oh.
He's all, hold on, babe.
Yeah, I got you.
So before we go full into 1919 and the adventure that, or the mission that's laying on there,
Yeah.
we have one more person in play too, and that's Emma from the Rittenhouse side.
I wanted to really know what you guys thought about this, because I know how us ladies
Yeah.
feel about Emma. We've talked about it,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I think this show did an amazing job to take a character that we were all ready to have
Oh,
her die because
like-
we're all like, screw her, she's horrible. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel for you, girl.
just this
Yeah.
once, though.
Just one time,
Just
I'm
this
like,
one time.
and she didn't kill Lucy. She could have.
didn't.
And it was one of those like, truths for right now. This is one thing we can all talk about. I was like, you're making me feel conflicted emotions.
Yeah. The
But-
character you love to hate, all of a sudden you're like, okay, maybe she's not that bad.
Well,
but then at that
No, she's
kiss
still
at
that
the
bad, but
end,
she's not horrible.
So
Oh,
now
that-
I'm like, what is she up to? Because you know she's up to something.
That's
She does
true.
not want to
She
be
wa-
with him.
No, she
because
wants to
he
rule
has
Rittenhouse.
crazy thinking.
No,
Yeah.
I think she wants to rule Rittenhouse for herself. And so
Yeah.
she's going to try to schmooze Daddy-O over there and try to take over. And maybe kill him in his sleep. I don't know.
And it seemed like she actually kind of really liked him and then was like, oh. But
Like,
why is
oh,
she
you're from,
surprised?
like 100 years
Yeah,
ago.
you're quite old and
crazy.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it was so weird that it's just like, all right, I'm into you. Oh wait, you don't like women having the right to vote? Cool. That might be a deal breaker. All right.
He wants his subservient ladies, and you're like, because she's way too independent and strong-minded for that. Then no way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Even I knew that like going in. I was like, this is not gonna work because his values and his
Yeah.
views on life is completely different than
Yeah.
how people are in 2018.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It seems like, I mean, Lucy's mom has been in on that. It seems like from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel like now Emma's starting to really see like, oh yeah, this guy's a little bit more cuckoo bananas than we thought. So I just feel like the longer he stays around, the more is it going to be more Rittenhouse going like, All right, just let's show you the door, old man.
Are
gotta
you
go."
mean a group not liking their leader? And they're like, maybe we should do something about it?
Wow. I wonder where they got that idea from.
Oh, did you actually, and a little side tangent, but connected the kind of current event things when Rufus comes out and looks at Mason and is like, what happened? The cops, and it's two black guys.
Oh,
like,
that was so quick too, and again, I love
great.
I love this show that the fact that we don't have to harp on something.
Yeah.
It's so subtle and so quick of just like,
Yes.
what happened to you? You know, the cops, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Good writers.
Yeah. Good job, everyone. We did
Even when
it.
they asked who's president.
Oh, that hurt my soul. I thought she was gonna say Hillary, and I was about to be like, oh my god. No.
We could have changed that. Oh, that thing too. I was like, oh.
That hurt a little bit, but it also wouldn't be relatable, I guess, to a point.
Yeah.
So I was like, so close. We were so close, friends.
So,
Legion. But your thoughts too. Back to our Emma's Legion in the chat says she will use him as a means to an end.
Yep.
So yeah, exactly.
So are you invested more in Emma and wanting to see if she kind of, like, in terms of, like,
Little bit.
turns on the side of angels, or she doesn't need to turn on the side of angels, she just needs to do something better than Nicholas from Rittenhouse?
Just a group
I feel like she has like some plan of domination. Like she's gonna somehow try to take it over, and maybe several seasons from now, which we hope we're gonna have, they can all come together for like a good cause. Because I feel like her and Lucy aren't that different because they're both very strong women.
Yeah.
But right now she's kind of like, this is her best chance at happiness, I feel like, what she wants. So that's why she's on their side.
I'm hoping that she's starting to develop a moral compass, just a tiny one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be huge.
Yes.
Well, the nice thing that was a reminder of, and even I had forgotten, but that Emma originally worked with Rufus as well. So to see that relationship got touched on again was nice.
How crazy was it when Rufus, Flynn, and Emma were all in the room, and it was just like, oh, you and I used to work together, but then you ran off to do Rittenhouse. You ran off and took my other partner, and we're trying to ruin time. And I'm just sitting here like, what the hell?
And he's like, I'm horrible at choosing friends. That's a GIF on Twitter. Which
Oh,
is
is
pretty
it?
funny.
I need that in my life all the time. Not friends in general. It's just
Yes.
really funny. Yeah.
Well, Nicholas wants Emma to just stay with the mothership. You're going to drop off the sleeper agent and the other person to touch base with them, and then just head back home. I want you safe and sound back here, making dinner for me.
Right.
Did you guys call
brother.
it with the sleeper agent? Did you guys actually think it was going to be a woman? I was not expecting
But it
that.
totally makes sense if it's during the suffragette time. Of course, it'd be a woman to like
Yeah.
infiltrate.
Oh, that was really cool and also really awful at the same
Yes.
time. I was like,
Just the way that you could warp a woman to thinking like, yeah, this is actually the best thing to do is go back and make sure that women are actually lessened by your actions.
I just don't know how you sign up for that. Like, how would you be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back and like give up all of our rights?
But I mean, it also like,
You know.
but I also thought it was very interesting because it tied into actual current events, which was that lady from the actress from Smallville who was recruiting women for sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that to other fellow women? Oh yeah, you didn't hear about that?
Sex
I'm not
cult.
gonna get more into it. You can read about it, but like, it's just like that cult was insane because there was only one guy and there was a bunch of women and it was just it was awful. But like, that's the thing that I think of. I'm like, why would you do this to your fellow women? Like, that's awful. But
Yeah.
that's also,
And- Alice was the original one, right? Who was the original speaker girl?
Alice, yeah.
Yeah, she actually said women, and then she also said all people. She was promoting people of
Everything.
color as well, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was nice of her to say that, too.
Yeah, it was also just a really cool image when they actually did get to the actual protest, and you got to see Rufus jumping in, and Flynn, and everybody, that they were just
helping
a bunch
the
of men.
fight.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Maybe I would buy it a little bit more if we'd seen more of Nicholas this season being a very charismatic, cultish type of leader, where you can see
Sure.
where he's able to get everybody on board with his kind of warp way point of view. But
Sure.
we haven't really seen that yet. We've seen him do that
That
weird
one
drawing.
thing. Yeah.
That's true. We haven't seen him, like, be charismatic to lure anyone in. They all just like his beliefs he left in a notebook,
Yes.
essentially.
yeah.
And that's one thing to read it, but when you actually meet the person,
You're like,
oh boy, all right. This
Just
guy's-"
kidding.
JK, lol.
Yes.
So they end back up in 1919, and this is where everybody meets, right there, especially in the hotel room. That's where Emma first helps Flynn and Rufus get away from this agent, and then we get to see a nice little Flynn-Emma fight scene.
Well, that fight scene was great and also erotic a little bit.
Well, she's all hot and bothered.
I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yes. What?
yeah. More of that? No, just kidding. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
While in the meantime, Lucy and Wyatt, they head over to the police department and they find somebody that is referred to as Mrs. Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
A woman of such astute deductive reasoning that people have often compared her to the famous literary figure.
See, this is where I was. Well, as soon as they said that she was called Mrs. Sherlock, I was like, oh, she's gonna have an attitude, and she did, because that's how Sherlock is in the books and in every single type of media that we have. He's because the person has so much intellect, they kind of like I don't know what the word, disconnected to like
Smart
things
people.
like that. You brainiacs
They're
over
so
there.
smart to the point of being arrogant because
Right.
they're like, "How are you so slow at not getting
Right.
this?" Now, I've met some of those people.
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
had a
same.
math teacher who's like that. It's like,
yeah.
you don't get it. How are you?
Yeah, how are you even a sixth grader? All right, ease up.
Well,
Okay.
someone was saying how. Miguel in the chat says, I think having Grace Hummingston, which I was curious about Humston. Well, I want to know about her husband in terms of all these women. It's all about you having a husband.
Was she married?
Well, they said Mrs.
Oh,
They never
I didn't
called her
even catch
Miss,
that.
and they never said Ms. So I was like, I want to know her relationship that she's able to have this job. But anyway, kind of defy Lucy's expectations of being the strong, powerful feminist, and was quite interesting. And that was kind of, that was more entertaining as a viewer, and even why asking Lucy, like, is that what you expected?
Yeah,
Right. It's like,
and-
don't meet your idols type of thing. She
Yeah,
was like, what
for
is going
sure.
on with this girl? And I did look it up. So she was married twice. So she did have a husband.
Did he die or divorce?
She divorced one and married the other one like
How
immediately.
progressive.
So
I mean, hey,
yeah.
she knows what she wants.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's my one fact.
But
Virginia,
I found that refreshing because even though, sure, it to us it's kind of like, really, like, why would you do that? But I also understand from her intellect perspective of just like, I'm a hardworking person. I do all these things. I don't understand what walking around and squawking is gonna get you. But like, of course, we understand what that can do. But from her perspective, as probably a person who's had to work her entire life and really get to where she is now, which is not even that high up, really. I can see her being kind of disoriented about that kind of thing of just being like, I'm solving murders and things like that and missing peoples, and you guys are just hanging about.
It's
making
almost
noise.
like privilege without privilege type of
Yeah,
thing. You know,
I
like she
agree.
doesn't really have it, but she got so far, so everybody else should be able to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lucy called her out on that specifically, which was so nice because it was like, yeah, you're helping dead people. You're not helping your
Yeah.
current alive fellow women. And like that moment was very rewarding as a viewer too, because you're just like, oh, thank you for saying it.
Yeah, and I love that you get to see those different dynamics of women. It's not
Yeah.
just one type, which is really, really cool, which is the whole point of these protests, of the fact that they're, and even her speech at the end, too, of how she
Yes.
listed everything. That was really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's even that's what I guess the cool thing about a time travel show is that speeches like Lucy's can be informed by somebody with present day knowledge of what those ramifications of those certain events are. So it's one thing to have somebody of your current time period kind of like, oh yeah, sure. And you're like, what's this person? Why should I believe them? But when you can actually come with the full weight of like, yes, it is so important that we have this happen for us.
Yeah, and I love how they like always find a way to have the people do what they're doing. Because I was like, oh, is Lucy really gonna do it? Like I was kind of bummed that she was gonna change history herself.
Yeah.
So the way that they just write it into like, okay, this person was so moved that they decided to make this speech was really nice.
And I loved seeing how our lady Sherlock was able to go from this kind of like stern, kind of not dead face, but the fact that it was kind of like she didn't really have emotion.
Detached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she fell and then was watching her environment around her, you can see her face kind of soften a bit, and how she was panicking because she was like, oh my God, this is awful. And then immediately those emotions and adrenaline just rushed up, and this amazing speech came out, which she was not even ready for. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And how the actress really portrayed that very, very well.
That was an emotional scene for me to watch.
yeah, I cried. For
yeah,
sure. Yeah, I was just like, wow, get it, girl.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess it's that old boxing saying. It's like everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face.
Yeah.
And then it's just like
It changes
yes,
everything.
I
Yeah.
just gotta go. We do see though the reason that Lucy and Wyatt are there. They're trying to make sure that she can, Grace can help Allison get out of jail because she's being wrongly accused.
This was the twist for me.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I thought that she was just going to be in jail during the speech. That's what I just assumed. I did not think that she was going to die. Did they also say how she died?
They thought it was suicide, but they weren't sure.
Well,
Well, they said it was
what
suicide.
was it that made the suicide?
Yeah. I don't think they talked about
Her
it.
lips looked bluish, so
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say they. But
Some
her
asphyxiation.
neck didn't look.
I don't think they strangled her. I feel like she ate something.
Well, they talked about the force feeding.
So yeah, maybe.
So
that's
if
what
you
it
got
was.
food and block your airway.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
The sleeper agent did, but
Yeah.
it was very interesting of that twist that I just wow.
And the cool thing to see a show like this make that change where we could take a real historical figure
And
them
just
off the
wipe her
canvas.
off, yeah.
And just, I mean, it's cool just to see that kind of historical fiction come into play. And then take somebody else that was around that same time period and then kind of
Mason.
insert them in that spot.
Mason did it, and then that was a fictional person on top of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which that is a
Lando.
little bit unfortunate. It was kind of nice though in this one where they just someone who already existed just did more than what they would have done. But it is sad when Lucy's like nobody's gonna remember who this person was,
Except
and
for
they didn't
me.
even get a footnote. But I mean, I bet the Mrs. Sherlock, she did like she
Yeah.
was inspired by that person, but maybe not like verbally saying anything.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Lucy's back home now in 2018 starting a Wikipedia page about Alison Paul? Guys,
Yeah.
You just gotta know. You gotta know.
I can't tell you all the details, but I can tell you something.
Yes.
So, of course, with Allison out of the way, we got to find somebody that's going to be able to lead this rally. And so Lucy and Wyatt and Grace, they go over to the, I guess, the headquarters for where this rally is going to go. And we get to see Grace kind of go to work, but what you don't realize that she's doing work.
Yeah.
You feel like she's being very dismissive of this whole movement.
That was so cool.
And just talks them into doing a silent protest. Like, if you're going to talk, then don't talk. Just be quiet. and just march quietly.
Well,
also
it was,
doesn't help.
It was nice, kind of and I don't know if you guys picked up on it. I didn't read it really. Legion in the chat is kind of wondering how like accurate her observation skills were, but like when she says them out loud, I'm like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And like the voting and seeing the left-handed, and then you're like, oh it makes sense, and you're like, I wonder if somebody really was that observant. But yeah, sure, someone could be.
Yeah. You never know.
I always notice lefties because I'm a lefty, like as soon as somebody else is writing. But I mean, I don't know. It was just so well done that we were like, oh, she wasn't really just being a bitch. Like she was trying to get something done.
I definitely thought
'Cause
that
that's
she
what
was
I
just.
thought. I was like, oh, I hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that moment of like, wow,
Yeah.
this woman is gonna get on my nerves. I can
Yeah.
already tell. But no, I loved her deduction. But I'm glad that you brought that up because my husband Neil is also left-handed. So anytime we're out, if he's writing, another person who's left-handed will notice him immediately. And I'm just like, is that like a thing?
It is
does
a
it like
thing.
go on? Like it's just. But I think it's really really cool that she was able to figure that out. But at the same time, also get her way because when she went back to the hotel and talked to that bellhop. She kinda, like,
Yes.
forced him into it, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, I'm with you on here."
Well, the
All
cop
right.
too of like,
Yeah.
you got that
Yeah.
alcohol in your drawer. You're like,
I didn't even
"Yeah."
realize his drawer was open until he went, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my
Well,
bad.
it maybe is something she's noticed before.
Oh, of course,
you know,
yeah,
so.
yeah. But she's just using it as leverage. Same thing
yeah.
with the bellhop. I mean, that
I
was
noticed the
really
watch. I like that close up, but I didn't notice like the hands.
good. No.
Really.
Yeah, I thought he was just twitching.
I was like, you're sketched. You're twitching.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was just because he was lying or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it all ends with Emma helping out Flynn, Garcia, Wyatt, and Lucy because they know that the sleeper agent is in this march, and so she's going to be looking at it. And it's that whole big question: Can we really trust her? Mm-hmm. And
Well, I like that Flynn's like, I got a gun and I'm ready too. But then
Yeah.
again, he would be a reaction, not ahead of time.
Yeah. But I also wasn't expecting that headshot that she did to the sleeper agent.
Yeah.
Like, I knew she was gonna get shot, but it was like dead center and like fell
Oh yeah,
over.
she's like, you're done.
Yeah, and I felt bad for Mrs. Sherlock because she's like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
she's like, but my case.
and then Lucy's just like, and we're just
that was She's like, okay.
and we're leaving now. She's like, so you're not gonna explain to her what just
Yeah.
happened? Okay.
She's
bye.
like ducking behind the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because like she was standing there by herself. Lucy's behind a barrel, and the lady's just like, all right, I did my deed.
She's like, you're not
she's
gonna
like,
kill me?
Just don't worry about that over there. We're just gonna go this way.
I was like, how do you explain that to her later? Like,
It's like, just come on.
I mean, I'm guessing the reason that part of why she made her truce with Rufus and Flynn,
God.
Yeah.
that she wouldn't kill Lucy. But I also think she doesn't take Lucy off the board because with Alison Paul dead, for this march to work, they need somebody very
I think she
passionate.
believes in it. Yeah.
And she thinks that well, Lucy can step in
Yeah.
with Alison off the table. So
Yeah.
I think that plays into why she doesn't take her off.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do get to the speech, and we see Lucy kind of stepping in, at least the beginning, to what Alison was doing. And then we see Grace just take full charge of this, and Lucy kind of recedes into the background. And we got to just wait till Lucy gives the okay. Then we get the tip, and then we know it's all right.
Yeah.
I know.
And I agree with you. I was so happy Lucy didn't do it because it's like, we don't want our team to be like the every moment in history. It's like, I don't mind them guiding it, but you don't want them being the pillars. You're just like, well, no.
True.
Side note, which did anybody notice the hotel where they went, where the senator was shot? That's the Biltmore in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh.
And as soon as they walked in, I'm like, that's the Biltmore. They filmed some of Mad Men there, and I'm pretty sure the Taylor Swift video where she's dancing around all funny and people can't see her, I'm pretty sure that's there too.
That is there.
And
they also filmed Bosch there.
Yeah. They filmed quite a few things. It's a beautiful hotel in downtown Los Angeles if you're ever in the area. Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
It's gorgeous, and you can just walk in too as like a tourist and check it out. It's just really pretty.
They have good lunches there. I used to live downtown.
Break down the menu for us, Virginia.
Anything you could want.
It's a magical place.
One menu item with Virginia.
Caesar salad.
There we go. All right, that's all I needed, right there. So everybody ends up in present day, and as we were mentioning, you were talking about like who's the president, who did you vote for?
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah, that was really nice.
But if they changed it, then we'd be like, oh, can we go to Timeless?
Yeah, can we go? Yeah, it would have been.
No, it's a nice way to address it without like, we can't.
Yeah,
adjust
getting
the
too
current.
political.
They did a good job of being actually current event wise with us.
Yeah,
of like, oh, cool, this is like real world what we are. Because a lot of TV shows, like, it's a fake president or a fake leader.
I was
I was
shocked.
I know. I was like,
I was like,
you're
oh,
real people.
Wow. Okay. Like even if they did just Hillary and they were just like, oh, I don't want to talk about it or something like that, I would have been like, okay, yeah, all right. At least we know like what time frame. But sometimes, TV shows will
like
be like
24 was a character, and plenty of other times it's a character because they're going to interact with them. It's not a real person.
Yeah, but it also takes me aback when like Kingsman, where you can clearly tell it's Obama or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is weird. But I mean, also it's fine. But I also sometimes with time travel shows, you never know what actually the year is because they'll be like, oh, it's actually we think it's 2018, but it's like 2016 or 2017 or something. Like it might just depending on when they filmed it.
Yeah,
they might change it. But I think Timeless films. Like right before they're like a few months before I think the episodes are out. I think
they're pretty quick turnaround.
They just wrapped up.
Yeah, like recently. So that kind of makes sense. But it's just like sometimes like I feel like there will be shows that like they shot this in like 2017, but they're airing it in 2018. Yeah. So we can't talk about we can't get into too many current events.
Jeff the chat says thank you for showing the pictures.
That's right.
Hey, no Timeless fans, y'all are one of my favorite audience collectives here, so it's my pleasure.
Yay!
And speaking of the audiences, we should celebrate the Clock Blocker of the Week.
Yes, which I have right here.
AFTERBUZZ fan of the week.
Heck yeah! All right, so we have Thomas Richards. I love how everyone laughs every time we have that thing. I think it's
because it's glorious.
Thomas Richards, his comment is quite long, but I think we have a little bit of time. I think I can read through it. Dana says, I'm with you in believing that Carol will flip sides. Carol. Oh, yeah, the mom. Sorry. I know her as Mama Lucy. But I don't think she will leave and come to join the team. I think Lucy, or maybe even Wyatt, will be in danger of being killed by Emma or a great-grandpa. How do you say his name? Keynes?
Yes.
Yeah. And Carol will sacrifice her life to save her daughter. Oh, I definitely am on that same boat. I thought the same thing. She's not going to survive the season. Maybe taking out one of the bad guys at the same time. I think them having Wyatt not shoot her wasn't just to show that Wyatt doesn't want to hurt Lucy by killing her mom, because he still cares about her, but also to set up a situation later where Carol doesn't want to kill Wyatt because he didn't shoot her when he could, and because she knows he cared so much for Lucy that he couldn't shoot her. Does that make any sense? That's actually what he wrote in the...
That's right.
Well, because he didn't shoot the mom, so maybe later she also would be like, I'll spare you.
I got you.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I'm definitely calling it now that she will sacrifice herself in some way of a no movement, and she'll like jump in the way or something like that.
That is slow motion.
No, it's gonna be one of those like she'll grab Lucy or something and get like shot in the back or in the stomach or something like that.
It's funny when she said, or before the show, she was commenting of like, we got more, I thought you said action, and then I was like, action? Like fighting? And it's like, no, drama. So something, when you Frank, you're saying we came back to present day, how about that moment though when they're leaving and Flynn tells Wyatt, say goodbye to your wife?
Oh.
Like, and he's like, oh yeah, my wife's down there, huh? Bye, hon.
Bye, hon, I'll see you later.
And that wave, I was like, that's the most awkward couple thing ever.
And I love how she was kind of like, okay. waving?
Yeah, she's
Why
like,
are
"See
you
ya,
waving at me? Please go away now.
It almost felt like he was like, I might see you, but history could change and I might not see you.
Ah.
Like, you know, just like, peace.
Yeah, no kiss goodbye, no
Nada.
nothing.
But that's how we know that he's wavering a little
Yeah.
bit. But at the same time,
it's
like,
awkward.
I need you to figure your life out.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about Jessica for a hot second, because as
Yeah.
I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we do find Mason does find a photo of her
Yes.
from in the Rittenhouse files. Again, as I mentioned,
Their
no
needle in the
context.
haystack.
Yes. Do you feel that Jessica is a knowing participant in Rittenhouse, or she's an unwitting pawn?
I think she's a pawn.
I feel she's a pawn in this photo is guiding us to think she's part of it. Like it's too obvious. That's like, oh look, we found this photo, and so because your immediate thoughts, oh, she's in on it, and it'd be more interesting maybe if it's like she has no idea or she has been guided and she finds something out and is kind of like, oh my gosh, once she puts the pieces together and be like, no, I didn't do this on purpose or something.
I'm in the middle. I feel like she at one point was unknowing, and then maybe she, maybe they dangled some sort of carrot in front of her, and she's like, you know what? F it. I didn't really like him anyway. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
true.
that's extreme. That's just me, going, the extra mile. But no, I would like for her to be an unknowing pawn, and then something drastic would happen to her, and Wyatt would just kind of lose his mind, but then you have Lucy's shoulder to cry on after. But at the same time, I really want more for Jessica.
Yeah.
So if she is, like, this badass character who actually has just been part of Rittenhouse, I'd also be okay with it.
Takira's in the chat, and she says, she is not a pawn.
all right.
Jessica.
All right.
What's up, Takira? We miss you.
I know.
Jessica is part of Rittenhouse. She found out, realized she wanted to be a good guy. Okay, so she's part of it, and then was like, no, peace out.
Oh,
Maybe?
that would actually be more interesting, because then we have to get the argument after.
Yeah, and
of her
then
being like, I want to be a better person.
Yes, exactly, and then wanted to redeem herself as a good person.
Yep.
Good point.
But then she'll still die after, and
I
then
don't
Wyatt
know.
will feel bad.
Maybe.
They're not making her likable enough. I feel like, they could make her more likable if they wanted us to feel bad for her, but...
That's why I'm like, I feel like it could
I
literally
feel
go either
neutral
way.
with her,
Yeah.
It's like, But maybe they're doing that on purpose.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fighters
What
are
they're
so good.
doing.
Yeah.
Well, with 3 episodes left, do we feel like we were appreciating how quickly they're moving through plot with Rufus and Jiya? Do you want them to just kind of address this and hopefully kind of figure out where her allegiances lie next episode?
Yes. Be quicker about it, or flat out ask her. You know?
mean,
Yeah, why are they not saying anything to anybody else? Like, if they have this
communication in
thing
this team
of
is
like,
awful.
Oh, it's
yeah,
so
it's
bad.
crazy. Like, let's keep a secret. Like, you already have like weird secrets. Like, why are you keeping your own secrets?
I'm like, also, you guys are in a bunker together.
right.
You're not going anywhere. It's not like, let's keep the secret and then go to our respective homes, and we're not going to see you until tomorrow morning. It's not like that.
That'd be the best, like, interrogation. Like, have everybody together and be like, guys, we have a meeting. And then, like, turn the screen around and be like, Jessica, please explain. Because then she's super on the spot and then has to explain it to everybody. So that would be a nice way to be like, hey, let's address it now.
And I know that they're like, Agent Christopher's like, okay, I don't want a fight to happen while we're in here, so let's just avoid it. But I feel like if you hold on to it longer, it's just going to I don't
But
know.
what if they do this and then she's like, I don't know, and then Wyatt like has to interrogate his own wife like a crazy
I want it.
person that he is?
I want it. I want it.
Like, don't you think that could happen?
Or he'll lose his mind, and Flynn will be like, "I'll do it," and he's like, "You better not!" And then it's just like, fists flying, and Lucy be, "Oh my god!" And it's just gonna be hilarious to me. I'll just be laughing with popcorn in the corner, just like, "Yeah,
Oh, I figure
rip off his shirt."
whenever Agent Christopher shows Wyatt this photo, if it's next episode, I feel like he's immediately going to go on the defensive.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
he's
he
gonna
wants
have
to
to.
attack his wife so he can get with Lucy. I'm sorry.
So you can make a choice.
Ew, yeah.
Finally.
Or you could just
Finally,
be
I
like,
know
thanks,
now."
Jess, that's what I needed.
exactly.
Yo, Lucy!
Yeah.
Thank
then
you.
that'll give him the redemption.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to dump his wife.
can
That
be like,
he
"All
wanted
right,
to come back.
Here's
Yeah.
the divorce papers. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Lucy, come back to me.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking around some predictions, so why don't we just a full-fledged just jump right into it.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
3 episodes remaining. 3 episodes.
Wait, what?
Do we have, don't
Yeah,
even have
3.
No, I thought
There's
they-
one, and then there's a 2-hour season finale.
Wait. What?
Yeah,
like,
there's,
wow.
there's only 10
10 episodes.
episodes.
Oh my
I guess I
God.
forgot the last one is 2.
It's-
Because
yeah.
I knew it was like a double something. I'm like, oh wait, they're on the What?
Yeah,
We
it's
only have
over.
I
2
need
days?
that hashtag renew timeless
Oh no,
trending.
there was a
It
post
just
about
won.
that.
It
It
just
won the vote.
Yeah, like
right?
58%
Oh,
for
good.
the USA Today poll.
Good,
That is
good, good,
correct.
good.
Thanks
good.
for voting,
Thank
guys.
you.
We know y'all
Yes.
did it.
Because you fans are dedicated and awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. That
Yo,
voicing the opinion, you love the show. That's what they need.
Yeah, I need another season because this was way too short.
Yeah, because
Yeah, this
Because we
was
waited
really
a long
fast.
time for a new season, so I'm
We
like,
did.
now we have to wait another.
Yeah. We're like,
I
what?
know.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
it looks.
I thought I had like another month and a half. I'm really upset.
I know. I thought we'd have like 5 more
If
times.
Supernatural could have 13 freaking
Right?
seasons, I want at least one more timeless.
Yeah.
My God, 10 episodes.
And looks like quite a few people in the chat voted. Good job.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so our prediction.
Oh, we've got Jia's her big prediction that she's had for Rufus's future.
He's gonna die.
When does that come into play?
He don't die.
Season finale? An episode before
Season
that?
finale.
Season finale.
Halfway through that double parter.
Yeah, that'll be the cliffhanger.
Well,
Yeah.
because they have
Yeah.
the Reagan episode,
Yep.
which is next, and
Yes.
then they have something about San Francisco, I think.
Cool.
And I
Hope
don't
it's the
remember the
earthquake
last one, but I looked and none of them seemed like cowboys were involved. So I'm just like,
But again, you can have a
you
cowboy
could have a
anywhere.
cowboy anywhere.
I think it's gonna be someone who's dressed as a cowboy to
Or
throw
that,
people
yeah.
off, or something like it's like a
Like it's
theater
a
or
costume,
show.
or technically even today, present day, there's people that could be cowboy outfits.
It's actually
a
San Francisco-
costume party.
Yeah, it's
It's
San Francisco
Pride.
Pride. But yeah, no, I definitely think it's gonna be a cliffhanger for the two-parter for the
Yeah.
finale because we're gonna be like, what?
yeah, I think he might get shot, but he won't die.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
season
Just-
3, he'll
Yes.
be like,
Yeah,
I'm alive.
because Revision's never complete. So I always feel like we
Yes.
see what's happening, but we never see what actually happens after. He could have been shot in the shoulder. We have no idea. Or
That's true.
grazed. Could have been grazed by a bullet. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Jessica is an unknowing pawn, or I'm okay with both. Yeah, either she has no idea, or she's left and like trying to be the good guy.
Yeah, it's there's no
It's
lose
very
situation.
toss-up, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm taking back my prediction from last week about a Rittenhouse baby. There's no way Emma's letting that
No.
evil seed in her. Like,
yeah,
no way.
at all. And if it did happen, it was an accident. It's
Like all
ready.
that happened
It's all that
before the
whiskey.
women's movement
Yeah.
episode.
And she
Yeah.
was like, well, this sucks.
Say she does get pregnant and then kills him and then has a great like, I'm carrying his baby, he's dead, I should be in charge of this.
She should be royalty.
Yes.
Yeah. True that.
But the dad is coming
Hey.
back. He is somewhere in this season. He has to.
Yeah.
Like, he has to come back in the next 3 episodes because
That's actually her kid.
No,
The dad. Like
oh, that's so
I
weird.
mean, that's getting too
That's
far,
so
but you know what I
weird.
mean. Yeah. That would be too timey-wimey even for me. But I'm just pulling out random things. I would love to see him walk into a room. Hi, grandma, or hey, mom, and you're just like,
I was just picturing a baby with his old man face.
that's not what I was saying. I just thought it'd be really funny if he was just like, hey, mom, and it's just like, oh,
well, I figure
alright.
he's been shown in some of the previews on bits, Lucy's dad. So I feel like anybody that's shown in that, I feel like is a fair game to see sometime in the season.
I agree.
It's always a way to kind of refresh the audience, like, oh yeah, that guy still does exist, doesn't he?
yeah.
No, my refresher is Virginia because
Yes.
I keep forgetting he's alive.
No, I'm stuck on him. Like, he is
Yeah.
coming back.
Well,
in
it's
season.
suspicious not to see him because we're like, wait, where did he go?
He's in jail. That's all we know.
I know,
Oh,
but
he's
it's
in-
still
I keep
like
forgetting
weird not
he's
to
in
hear
jail.
anything.
Yeah, but
You
I mean,
know?
they're gonna let him out.
Yeah.
at some
Yeah,
point.
they're going to time travel back to something.
out,
to let him
Yeah.
know.
Did he get put in jail?
He did.
Yeah, we talked about
We
that
talked
last
this
week.
last week while you were gone.
'Cause
Somebody
I
in
was-
the chat was like, "Oh, he's in jail,"
And we're like,
they
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He got arrested in the finale.
And I don't know if we could all like the team could forgive Flynn for like, but they could at least be cordial and like polite with him.
No. Our team is so immature. You know this already. We've talked about it.
They're like,
No.
grudge forever.
He moved a ladder because he let Flynn up there like a 5-year-old on a playground. No, they're children, all of
Yeah.
them.
I feel like Flynn could get some vindication, and not necessarily be a welcome member, but at least somebody that they're not
Tolerated.
Yes, somebody they're
Yeah.
not constantly watching their back.
Yeah.
around.
He'll save Rufus's life.
He did already.
No, but I mean a bigger one.
Oh,
Like get shot, like one of those,
Like-
do something. Yeah.
Jump in the way.
Everyone's just gonna be doing that in the finale.
Yeah.
No.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this episode of the Timeless After Show. But as always, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and give it a thumbs up while you're there. And if you're watching after this live stream, Kari, what can they do?
You all can comment down below. You guys do a great job on commenting on previous videos, and that's how we pick our Clockblocker of the week. So comment down below, and you might be our next. I'm all what?
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister. Clock blocker.
Yeah.
Yay.
It is a tongue
I'm always like
twister.
watching, like, don't say it.
But if you want to continue the conversation with any of us after the show's over, Virginia, where can they find you?
On Instagram and Twitter at Virginia Reyna.
And you guys can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
And you guys can find me all over social media at atorres890.
And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Folks, we'll see you back here next Wednesday night with another episode of the Timeless After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Jen in the chat says
The
good.
views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.